Hello, Chris from My Stamp Lady. I'm here to share a fall card made with the vintage leaves, which is found in the annual catalog. This has been around a bit, but it is a wonderful set. The leaflet dies are coordinating to the images here. I'm also using a sentiment from Colorful Seasons, and then we'll be embossing the crumb cake cardstock with the woodland textured embossing folder. Okay, so the technique that I'm showing in this card is, I'm calling it brushed ink. I don't really know if it has an official name or not, but we'll see how that goes with the Aqua Painter and a stamped image. So this is Thick Whisper White as my background. You can find all the sizes and the supplies used on my blog at mystamplady.com. Then I have a Cajun Craze mat, and let's emboss this crumb cake cardstock with the woodland texture embossing folder, and I'm going to run this through the Big Shot. So the first step is I can just mount this right onto my background cardstock mat because I don't need to add anything in between. Then my next step will be to stamp my leaf images, and I am using shimmery white cardstock. The reason I'm using the shimmery white cardstock is because it will take the ink a bit better and the watercolor better than the regular Whisper White cardstock. So let's stamp this leaf in soft suede, and I'm going to stamp it up and down. So then let's pull in an Aqua Painter. This has water in the barrel, and the water will flow through. You could also just use a wet paintbrush if you want. This just prevents you from having to go back in and dipping back into the water. So I'm just spreading that ink. That's why I'm just calling it brushed ink. I stamped it. I didn't add any extra ink. I'm just spreading the ink that I stamped with. I would recommend doing it sooner than later. It'll dry a little bit less. However, it's water-based, so it should wet no problem. Okay, so then with this piece, I am using Pear Pizzazz. Sometimes when you're using a photopolymer stamp, it works better to do it on a pad or a fun foam. And this is just our Stampin' Pierce pad, and I use that, and you can get a better image. So then we're just going to repeat with the Aqua Painter and just brush that ink, spread that ink around, adds it so it's more solid colored, and it goes on. Now I'll take the coordinating dies from the leaflet set, and with the magnetic platform, I'm just going to place those on there and run that through the Big Shot. And I'm going to do both of them at the same time. I'm also seeing that I've got a little light shimmer because I've used the shimmery white. So that shimmer is kind of coming through the inked image and adding just a tiny bit of shimmer to my leaves. Okay, so I did two more leaves the same way, stamped them, and then with the Aqua Painter spread the ink. So I have 4 leaves all together here. And now I'm just going to place these down. I had tried just a little note when I was making this card. I had tried to do this with dimensionals and lifting some up. I found though I just really didn't like it lifted up. I like these leaves flat onto my cardstock. So I've used the Fast Fuse to put down a lot of glue or tape runner to my leaves. I don't want them popping up. I kind of wanted them down pretty good. However, that means I won't be able to pick them up once they go down. So just got to be aware of that. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp from the Colorful Seasons, the You Make Me Smile. And I'm going to stamp that right on to another little piece of shimmery white. This is giving me just a little bit of shimmer. It's pretty faint, so it's hard to see on camera, but you can see it in real life. And before I put this down, I'm going to tie a piece of the Crushed Curry mini chevron ribbon around this card front and just tie a knot. And trim those tails. And now I would like to put down my sentiment, and I'm going to tuck that just right underneath kind of above but underneath this ribbon right here. There we go. And I can mount this to my Thick Whisper White card base. I love the Thick Whisper White. It gives a nice heavyweight card base. And then when I use the white, it's easy to stamp additional images inside or add a sentiment inside there. I finished up this card. I love these black rhinestones. I am really hoping, I know I said in a different video, but I am really hoping they become a staple in our catalog next year. I love being able to use the little black ones rather than having to use the sequins. So there, that is brushing over the ink with an Aqua Painter or a paintbrush, and it's the Vintage Leaves, which is in the annual catalog, so don't forget about that wonderful set. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, Chris at mystamplady.com. All of the supplies are available in my online store at shopwithmystamplady.com, and go to my blog, mystamplady.com, to get the printable directions. Thank you for watching.